Hello there. I am still trying to learn the difference between StreamYard and YouTube, so I think I'm live. I really don't know, to be perfectly honest, but I'm just going to talk like I know what I'm doing. This is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are joining me. I did try to bribe Johnny with cookies. I should have followed up with him to see if he got my email with the invitation link, so he may still make it, he may not. I see that I already have Indigo in the chat, and it's always good to see feedback from those of you who are watching the video. I have, you can kind of see him over my shoulder here. I have my black cat in here with me. He's going to be my little helper tonight, I think. Hey, hello, Joyce. Good to see you. I have a whole description. Oh, and Paula is here. Do I pronounce that right, Paula, when I say Osio, or is it Osayo? I'm not quite sure which way the I goes. I made a list in the description of this video of just some general topics that I was thinking about. There's no way that I'm going to get to all of them. So if there are some that you would prefer that I hit on more so than others, please definitely let me know. Otherwise, I'll just go for probably an hour or so, and then we'll see. Okay, so Osio. Got it. Thank you very much. I'm learning. I'm trainable. First of all, I want to let people know, after I did my last live or one of my videos with my Ukrainian decks, somebody went out to the Etsy shop, DevaniShop, and this is going to mess with my head because in StreamYard it looks like nothing is happening. But DevaniShop is the Etsy shop where I get my Ukrainian tarot decks. And somebody made a comment in the post that the shop was no longer selling on Etsy. So I reached out to Uliana. I was like, oh my Lord, I've seen the news and things are getting worse than, before. I have no idea of the geography, how close you are to what's going on. She had initially told me that she was just taking a temporary break and would be coming back to Etsy as of December 1st. But I just went out to check, and she is back out there. So feel free to order decks from this Ukrainian shop. And today I see that she has Cyber Monday sale, 30% off plus free shipping. So for those of you who might be interested in checking her out, or checking her decks out and possibly placing an order, feel free to do that. As long as I have this tab or my second monitor shared here, I want to show you a couple more things. First of all, this is kind of silly, but that Alpaca deck that I had showed you on Kickstarter was successfully funded. So at some point in the future, it might be 3 months or 4 months or however long until I actually receive the deck, but sometime I will do a live stream and show you what the deck looks like, and I'll name it Alpaca-rama or something along those lines. But I'll show that to you guys. Early in December, I will be receiving my next subscription box, and I'm showing you the link for the December 22 box. It is about Yule, Dark Night of Yule specifically, and there's the description here. We finally arrived to the precipice of darkness within the wheel of the year, the great winter solstice. We honor the silent and reflective time that has been provided to us during these past several months, guiding us through inner journeys that have been both intense and intuitive. Throughout this traditional and exclusive collection, we celebrate life, death, and the return of the sun god, bringing with him signs of new hope, new prospects, and new growth. Join us as we settle into the longest night of the year, reflecting on the promises fulfilled and the bounties that may reside in the twinkling future. So once I receive that, I will do an unboxing video just for that box. they usually ship it between December or the 1st and the 3rd of the month. So I'll probably actually receive it somewhere around December 6th or 7th. And I will probably do just a pop-up live that night because I'm not very good with waiting to open these subscription boxes. So just keep an eye out for that. And the other pop-up that I will be doing, I was fortunate enough to get one of only 88 boxes of this Deluxe Yule Collection. It's limited to 88. It sold out in about 5 minutes, so I was really lucky. This one is definitely going to be worthy of a pop-up dedicated to this box. Items in this box may include, but are not limited to, exclusive handmade items, altar tools, books, tarot or oracle decks, crystals, artwork, etc. So it's going to be shipping on November 9th. That's a Friday. I'm kind of expecting that I'll receive it sometime about December 13th through the 15th. Seems to be kind of the time frame that I receive these. So when I receive this box, I'll be very excited, and I'll go ahead and show you what the treasures within would be. So those are kind of things that I was thinking about for future live streams. Feel free to let me know if any of them are more interesting to you than others, or if I should do all of them. Hi, Teresa. It's good to see you. I'm glad you were able to make it. I know that Linda G is live tonight as well. So we'll see how many people are able to join us, but this is always available on replay. Let me switch to my card cam here because I have I have a whole pile of decks on the bed next to me. Some of them will be some that I haven't posted videos on yet. And some of them will be some that I probably have posted videos on, but I figured they were worth going through again just for possible gift ideas. It is about the holidays. So this deck is the 5-cent tarot. And I thought about this one a long time before I actually purchased it. You can select whatever colors you want for the back. There's a couple different colors of blue. There's a lavender. There's a green. So you can kind of personalize the colors, and each color has its own gilt on the edging. It's kind of an interesting, I'm going to make this the whole screen here. It's kind of an interesting vintage style of card. And as I go through these decks, I'm not going to flip through the whole deck unless something is really interesting to you. Like, these are really busy. There's a lot of information on these cards. Emperor, they have keywords, whether it's an upright card or if you flip it over, there's a keyword for if you use the reversed version of the card, if you read reversals. Some of the artwork is really interesting. Some of it is seems kind of interesting with air quotes, meaning I don't necessarily see the association between the artwork on some of the cards and what the more traditional illustration would be. But I looked at this one a long time and finally decided that I would go ahead and do it. I like this, the devil card. I mean, it's a beetle. The top of the card describes addiction and dependency, temptation. But if you flip it over, so it's reversed, then you get detachment and freedom and release and self-control. So, okay, sounds good, Paula. The Tower card, if you look at it upright, it is upheaval, disruption, awakening. If you flip it over, then it is resisting change, fear of loss, and close call. So, star, moon. Let's see what the minor arcana looks like. Oh, actually, I'm glad I am flipping through this because there are the traditional 22 major arcana, But this deck also has additional major arcana. So one of them is the unknown. So upright, it is divine faith, curiosity, and openness. And the reversal would be egotism, shielding, or reticence. There's also the beyond, which is the soul, belief, apathy, doubt, higher being. There is the universe, which is different than the world card. Infinite growth, evolution. There's the messenger, which would be for spirit guides. And here's where we start to get into the minor arcana. So the suit of matches, in my mind, would equate to the suit of wands, because that is the fire suit. I'm going to quickly look through the rest of these. Yep, okay. So the suit of matches is the equivalent of wands, because, like I said, fire. Here we have the suit of cups, which is called the suit of cups. Then we have the suit of needles, which would be the suit of swords. I like the way they have some of the curved upholstery needles. They have some of the regular sewing or embroidery needles and more curved. This one has the stork. I just actually ordered like a 6-pack of these stork embroidery scissors. And the final suit is the suit of buttons for the suit of pentacles. And let me just quickly flip here and see if there's something. He looks like trouble, doesn't he? We have a birdhouse page. The queen and the king. Nothing is really jumping out that I have to, oh my word, show you on the rest of the minor arcana there. So that's kind of a cool deck. I believe this deck is, there is a website for this deck. It is called the 5 Cent Tarot. And it is, you can do a search for Madame Clara. M without the E at the end of it. It's just M-A-D-A-M, Clara. There is also 1 or 2 other tarot decks from this group, as well as an oracle deck. But I believe they only sell on the Etsy shop. However, they do have a website with additional information. I got a couple of decks that are playing card sized. I had shown you all the Divine and Play Tarot by Matt Green, and it's like I said, regular playing card size. Actually, these are all in absolutely backwards order because I did one of my videos and flipped through them in order, and they're stacked the wrong way now. But the back side of the card is actually kind of interesting because it shows the tarot suit on the right, in the right hand column here, and then on the left hand side here it shows the equivalent in the playing card suits. So pentacles would equate to diamonds in the playing cards, cups would be hearts, wands would be clubs, and swords would be spades. So that's a really good reference point for that. Kind of like the other Divine and Play Tarot, all of the major arcana cards have a different color. Hey, Joe, good to see you. Have a different color. So if you decide that you want to just play a regular game of, I don't know, poker or bridge or cribbage, you just pull out the cards that have the white on the outside, or the border. There's the word I was searching for. And it leaves you with the regular playing cards. So it's just a black and white deck, very simple playing card size. Oh, hi Sharon Sipe, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming in tonight. And I can't remember. Let me check something here. Okay. Yep, we're good. I have YouTube on one screen and I have StreamYard on the other screen. So it's kind of throwing me for a loop a little bit. But I really like these poker card sized decks because they are really good for smaller sized hands. This gentleman, his name is Matt Green, and he just recently released posted another deck on Kickstarter. So if you are interested in funding the very beginning of another playing card sized tarot deck, certainly go out to Kickstarter and do a search for the Triple Play Tarot. There's a lot of color in that one. It's designed to actually be like 3 games as well as a tarot card deck. But if you want to purchase these cards on Etsy, he does have an Etsy shop. The deck I just showed you was the Shadow Play Tarot. So now I'm going to show you the Refine and Play Tarot. But his Etsy shop name is Printagrams. So I don't know if you do a search on Etsy for Matt Green, if it pulls up his shop, but if you look for Printagrams, that's where you'll find these cards. Oh, looks like I already shuffled these guys. So with these, the minor arcanas have I'm waiting for my camera to catch up. Let's see. Turn that off. No. Let me try turning this other light off. No. I'm not quite sure what to do with the lighting here. I'll just leave them both on and we'll let the camera adjust. How's that? All right. So the back of these cards are just black and white. And the front side, it has the playing card number and suit on the corners. And then in the middle, they have the Rider-Waite-Smith illustration. So, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands, and so on. Now, just like the other decks that I've already showed you, there is a little bit different illustration on the major arcana so that they are easy to pull out. And you can see that, let me put them side by side here. The regular playing cards just have the suit. This is the Jack of Wands or Jack of Clubs. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. The major arcana have these red lines on both sides. So as you're quickly flipping through the deck, if you want to play poker or cribbage or whatever, you just pull out the cards that have the red line in the deck. But this is just an interesting one too. And like I said, same playing card size. The Tower and the Devil have black backgrounds, but all the rest of them look like they are white backgrounds. Less traumatic or less dramatic cards, I suppose. Let's see. What are we going to do next? Let's do one of my favorite decks. And this is one that I did a video on pretty early. And at that point, I hadn't really seen statistics on how long people watch the actual videos that I do. So I was spending a lot of time talking about the decks and pointing out what I thought was cool in them. And then I realized that people generally only watch like 30 seconds of a video before they move on. So one of the early ones that I did was the Crow Tarot. And this is one of my favorites. Now, you can get this, you can order this on the artist's website, which I believe is just called crowtarot.com. She does also have multiple other tarot decks out there. And one of them, I have the indie version of a different deck here. This one happens to be the mass market production of her Crow Tarot deck. But she's one of the people who very specifically talks about asking purchasers to be very careful about getting counterfeit decks, because some people are not necessarily ethical about respecting the creativity of the artist. They'll just grab the images and print them and sell them and take the profit and not share with the artist. So on MJ Cullinane is this artist's website. She does have a description of how to make sure that you don't purchase a counterfeit deck. But this is one of my favorite decks, and I don't really know why. I don't necessarily have a huge affinity for crows. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. I just really feel drawn to this deck for some reason. It is a bit oversized compared to some of the other tarot decks that are usually only about 2 3/4 inches wide. So this is a bigger size deck. Takes a little more practice to get used to shuffling it, but I really like this specific deck. Since this is a mass-produced deck, I think you can only get the mass-produced version rather than the indie deck like she initially did on her website. But it's just really cool. It's a really good way to test your grasp of the symbolism in the imagery on the cards. Like this, the Emperor has the horns and the throne, and the chariot is flying through the air. The wheel is pretty obvious, but Strength has the lion and the it's not Ouroboros. What's that? The name of that symbol? That's escaping me now too. I don't know why words are so hard for me tonight, but I really like this deck. Yeah, Indigo, I agree. And I do have some really weird lighting. If I need to make adjustments for the lighting, let me know. But yes, this deck has a lot of rich coloring in it. It's just beautiful. And speaking of coloring, I'm going to stop flipping through this deck. I have a deck that I really like, and actually I sent a copy of it to Johnny before he moved. This is another smaller size deck. It's called the Tarot of Trees, and this one you can get on Etsy. I know that they do have a website, but I believe the website does redirect to their Etsy shop. This is the regular version. It's smaller than the 10th anniversary version or 10th anniversary edition of the one that I got. That one is huge. It's so huge that I don't know that I will ever actually use it. Closer here. The card itself is pretty close to playing card size. But again, this is one that I like to use just, well, partly because I love to be outside, but I like to test my knowledge of the imagery on the cards. Like on this Fool card, the little sapling is at the edge of the cliff looking out over the wide world beneath him, deciding if he's going to take the plunge or not. Two of Swords has the traditional Two of Swords. The world has the tree of life around the globe. Joe, which deck did you trim? I just now saw your chat. You trimmed yours and it shuffles fine now. Which one? Was it this Tarot of Trees deck? Let's see. What other ones? Sun. The wands, the suit of wands is just trees. You know, the three trees. The cup imagery is the cups. The swords are the swords. And let me see. I believe pentacles are pentacles. So that makes it easy as far as that goes. But Page of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. So I really like the coloring and so on this deck too. I wouldn't have thought to share this one unless Indigo had mentioned the colors. So there you go. Now I'm going to share my nerdiness, and you can all collectively gasp and shock and horror, but it is what it is. I am sharing this because it might be a good gift for people, and this just became available on Amazon. So I'll make sure I add the link in the description of the video here. But this is a Star Trek tarot deck, and it is the officially licensed version. Greatly appreciated, Indigo. Oh, hey, Joan. Good to see you. The Crow Tarot. Okay. Yeah, that one. I can see the need to trim that one down. This Star Trek deck is the officially licensed deck. It has a couple of extra cards that are not. I'm just having fits with the. Humor me while I flip through some of these. Maybe if I turn this one off. Whoa, that's really dark, but I can make this brighter. Maybe. Oh well. So it has a couple of extra cards. The aliens and the alien. You know, the nice green lady. Oh, that's actually, she's a really good example. There. If she shows up as green, I know I have the lighting right. Nope. Yeah. That's probably the best I'm going to get. But it is, apparently there were 78 issues or 78 editions, 78 episodes, there we go, of the original Star Trek series. So they took images from each of those episodes and assigned them to a tarot card. This deck is not as expensive as you would think it would be. It comes with a really cool book that talks extensively about the history of tarot through the years, you know, going all the way back to when it was the beginner. Hey, Marianne, it's good to see you. It's been a while. And just brings it forward to the current age. And then it goes into, for each card, it gives a brief description of what was going on in the episode and what the card means. Now, since this is the officially licensed deck, the creator of the deck told me that they worked really hard to make sure that they had not only the permission of CBS, I believe, owns the rights to the images and to the episodes now, to the series right now, but also either the living actors that remain or the estates of those who have passed away to be able to use their likenesses in this deck. So I really appreciated that extra effort to make sure that everything was above board with this particular deck. So I'm a nerd. I am cool with that. And I hope that I am among fellow nerds as well. Okay, so now that deck is done, I can turn my other light on. Let's see. Now, this is not a tarot deck, but you might find this interesting. I recently got this from another Etsy shop. These are runes. Specifically, I think the pronunciation is Ogham, Ogham, Ogham. It's Celtic. And these are different, each tree has its own magical properties. So you can get sets of these runes that have just the rune image on them. Pre-language, it was just a bunch of lines, either vertical, horizontal, angled lines, and so on. So you can get runes that have the original symbol for these different types of trees. You can get runes that are like this, where each of these individual pieces are the actual wood that it represents. Like This is hazelwood. This is hollywood. This is elder and bramble and reed and so on. I happen to select the deck that, or the rune set that has the word or the type of wood in English on the runes. But you can get, like I said, the symbols that are the lines, either vertical or horizontal or angled. You can also get these runes where the wood name is listed in Celtic or Welsh or whatever the language at that point was. I really don't remember what the type was. But I just received these. I have not played with them very much, but I think they're very cool, especially since they are all pieces of the type of wood that the word on them represents. And I just got this from Etsy. I have a couple of shops that I really like on Etsy. They're sister shops. One is in the UK where these items are made, and then there's a sister shop in the United States, East Coast. So the one in the UK is called Green Woman Crafts. I'll actually type it. And the US shop is called Mythospheria. So either one of those I really recommend. I've ordered from both. Shipping is fast, whether it comes from the UK shop or from the United States shop. But I really like those. Something else that I got, I don't remember if it was from one or the other, but they always ship in these little bags too. So now I have to unwind the little bag to get these out. These are cedar wood. They're really light, but they are runes, the Elder Futhark runes. And I was hoping that Johnny would be on here to show these to him because I think that he might like them. There are obviously six sides on each die, so 24. So I'm guessing that the blank is not included on these runes, the weird stone. But I have a soft spot for these unique little items. So we'll put those away. And actually, you know, since I have this little box sitting here, these were a Christmas gift from Pete last year. They're also rune stones made from rose quartz. So this is something that I want to spend some time with and learn about as well, so I can actually use them. But honestly, I have so many books to read that I'll never finish them all. So much to learn in so little time. Oh, Marianne, that doesn't surprise me. I also have witches runes, and I can't remember where they are. But you can get those in a set of either 8 or 10 or 13. And don't let the name scare you. There's birds and there's rings, and you know the symbols have specific meanings, just like any of these other divination items that we use. So I'll show those at some point too. Here is something sitting right here that I got either from Mythospheria or from Green Woman Crafts. Thank you for joining, Indigo. You have a good night as well. They have a lot of Labyrinth items, and this one is just a ball with a labyrinth. It's based on they say it's based on the labyrinth at Tintagel in Cornwall, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And it's just a nice thing to, kind of like a fidget spinner, just kind of follow the labyrinth around. I have a couple of other labyrinth items from them as well, but fun stuff. Now, this tarot deck I just received, and I have not spent a lot of time with it. So we're going to kind of look at this one together. This is the Luminous Void Tarot. Spacia. Stone with gold. Wow. That sounds gorgeous. Where did you get that? Was it online? So this tarot deck is kind of interesting. Let me back up my camera here. You can see it's an oval shape. So it isn't the traditional, playing card shape or the tarot deck shape. So the shape is interesting. And then it's got some interesting imagery on it. It's not really a watercolor. High Priestess, the Empress. So it's going to take me some time to get used to how to kind of mentally associate the name of the card with the image that's on the card. But you know me and having unique decks. So this is what the front of the cards look like. And the back of the cards are red with a gold sun. Kind of interesting. Like that strength card. Hermit. Okay, I can see how that Hermit is tied with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Justice. Hanged Woman. Death. Okay. Etsy shop in England. I'm going to Moon Goddess Art on Etsy. Oh, and that just the description of that shop looks like it's right up my alley. Yeah, sorry, I got a little distracted there. I don't know if Sharon got the troll or if I did or Kathy did, but thank you. What I did is I should add Marianne. Oh, no, I can't do that. I'll have to figure out how to add additional people to be moderators, because what I did is when I was doing my first live stream, as I would watch, videos of other readers or other live streams, I just kind of grabbed a few people that I knew were used to being mods and I added them to my channel without even asking them about it. So thank you to those of you who are inadvertent moderators and troll slayers. All right, so it looks like these are kind of not really pip decks, but there's not a whole lot going on the minor arcana here. So I won't go through it for this live stream. I'm sure I'll do a one of my full videos and flip through the whole deck, but we've seen enough of that this particular deck for now. And you're all going to have to tell Johnny that he's missing out on cookies because I actually have cookies. It's all in good fun. This is another one that I just got. It is Dream Vision Tarot. I'm not convinced that I really like this box because you know how usually they... Let's see if I can find one. The ones that have magnets on them, they usually lock on the side here. This one just opens. It doesn't even really close all the way. So it doesn't feel very secure. I have not yet tried to shuffle that deck yet. I try not to until after I do my flip through of the entire deck, because otherwise I have to put them back in order for, major arcana and then suits and wands and so on. So I haven't tried to shuffle that one. I have a feeling it's going to be interesting. But we'll see. By the way, you were talking about that last deck that I showed, right? The oval one. Oh, well, here, Sharon, let me see if I can fix that. Or Kathy, sorry. There we go. That's why I have YouTube open on another tab, so I can do things like that. Who else should I add? All right. All right. Now this deck is very I don't want to say ethereal. I'm not quite sure of the right word. I'm kind of going in reverse here. I'm going from the King of Pentacles on down. But it's very definitely not traditional imagery, which I'm fine with, because I think sometimes we get stuck in a rut. Yeah. Oh, Spacia. There we go. I really like it. The only real thing I don't care for with this deck is the box, but I don't have to leave the cards in the box. I can do what Johnny does and just keep it in a bag. So that's not really a legitimate gripe even, actually. So, you know, the wands are more reddish toned cards. The swords look like they're more purple and blue tones, which makes sense. And then let me get back to... All right, we'll go through in order for the minor or major arcana. And again, I'm going to try and see if I can make the light better. All right, so we have the Fool, the Magician. Oh, Aspasia, that's good to know. I wonder if the artist or the creator would do... Oh, that's actually something that I'm thinking about trying to put together, and you can all give me feedback or ideas for who might be willing to do something like this. But I would love to do something like an artist series or a creator series, something like that, where deck creators or artists or book authors come on, and it doesn't have to be for a long episode. It could be for 15 minutes. I could record it and not do it live and then just post it to my channel, but I think it would be interesting to try and get some of the creators and artists involved with the people that we see in our live streams and in our YouTube channels all the time. Although there are an awful lot of channels out there that I haven't had the pleasure of visiting yet, so that I may be thinking of something that has already been done, and I might be reinventing the wheel. But it really is a beautiful deck. Oh, good. I'll do some research and see if I can find contact information for her. That would be fun. And I was actually thinking about asking if MJ Cullinane from the Crow Tarot would be willing to join, because actually I'm about to go through another one of her decks. Jane, I don't know Gerald. Who is Gerald? Yeah, I agree. Each interview and each conversation and each episode or whatever just is its own individual and unique situation. So this is another MJ Cullinane deck. This is the indie version of her deck, so you can get this on her website. And again, I believe the name of her website is crowtarot.com. Although if you just do a search for her name, she has a website under mjcullinane.com, I believe. But in order to actually shop her decks and purchase her decks, you follow the link to her shop website, which is, like I said, I think it's Crow Tarot. She also does sell on Etsy. I know I always tell people, or I always encourage people, if you have the option to purchase directly from the artist's shop or the artist's website, I encourage you to do so, because just with my own Etsy shop, I know that they take, 8% or something of the purchase price, for 8.5%, something along those lines. I don't even remember. Just for fees for processing and posting. Whereas if you purchase directly from the artist's website, then they receive the full amount plus whatever their internal processing fees are. But now this deck is interesting because it is based on, like, not Norse, but Scandinavian legend. So journey through the magical land of Forhaxa, which is Swedish for to enchant, cast a spell, and bedevil. This is a realm where dark and light collide, where the elements hold court, where we find ourselves connecting to a force outside our own. So, now I'm kind of lost in this deck because neither end is actually the major arcana. So I don't know. It's possible that I have already shuffled this, but this is the suit of cups, the suit of water. As you can tell, this is not a beginner-friendly deck. But I like the fact that it seems to involve elementals. So for the element of water, it would be the Undines, the water people, the mer people. Let's get through that. The suit of water before I go on to the suit of wands, which is the fire element, the fire suit. Now the elemental for these would be traditionally, at least in Wicca and in pagan tradition, would be salamanders. I don't see that indicated in this deck, but since this is Swedish, well, here we have salamanders on the Seven of Wands, Seven of Fire. But this is based on Swedish legend and Swedish lore. So there has to be some other type of symbolism associated with that. So that's the suit of wands. Now, the air, or the element of air, is associated with the suit of swords. So it corresponds to the direction of east. You can see some clues, the feathers fly through the air. You can see some of the imagery that indicates that it's associated with air, as in the element, not specifically sword related, although this ace does have a sword in it. Oh, now, of course, I am at the major arcana. So let me see. Let's go and do the suit of pentacles, which is the element of earth. Anything related to physical being, physical existence, physical body. By the way, I have an exam tomorrow. So after the exam, so probably not until tomorrow night or maybe even Wednesday morning, I will go through and I will add hyperlinks where you can find each of these decks that I'm showing you tonight, so that oh, yeah, Joe, that's a really good idea. I'm really glad that you mentioned that. Yes. Another thing you have to watch out for on Etsy shop. Oh, Marianne, I just saw that you were taking off. It was good to see you again. Thanks for joining. Yes, Joe, Etsy shops. Some Etsy shop owners out there will buy up a bunch of something at a low price and then sell it or try and resell it for like 3 times what you could find if you bought it directly from the artists themselves. So yes, I can totally agree that one of the Etsy shops has the cat deck for $44. And you, by the way, Joan, you are right. These cards are slippery, but they're really cool. They're huge. I mean, I have tended to find that indie decks are very oversized. Not a bad thing. It's just something to get used to. It's just a part of being a tarot deck collector. and I am flying through these rather speedily because I'm just realizing I've been on for about 50 minutes, and my goal was to be on for about an hour. Oh, I know what I'll show you. I'll show you guys just a couple more decks that are a little on the wild side, shall we say. Which one is this? So, you've probably seen, I think I've seen Johnny and Adrian use like the Groovy Weight and the Trippin' Weight decks. I have received a few decks from the person who creates and sells the Groovy Weight and the Trippy Weight. This particular one happens to be called the Neon Pam. The back of the cards are bright neon with a yellow Ankh card on it. And let me see if I can find a color on this little ring light that will accurately... I don't know if that's... On this card, it is really... Well, that's pretty good, I guess. It's a really bright pink. And this ring light and this camera are not doing these colors justice because they truly are really insanely colored. This one I don't believe is a blacklight deck. Let's see. Two of the decks that I got are reflective with blacklight. So I'll show you one of them once I get through this Neon Pam deck. And all of you have been around tarot long enough. You know what the images look like. Basically, overall, I'm just kind of showing you what the colors look like the blue star lady. Oh, there's a duplicate. There's a green star lady. Moon, sun, judgment, world. All right, I thought there was another one coming out. There's that Four of Cups, and here's another Four of Cups with a lighter background. And I think that might be all of the duplicates in this deck. It's kind of interesting because each of these have randomly like an extra 3 cards or an extra 5 cards, and none of them are the same. So I never know exactly which one is going to be the extra colors or have the extra colors. 7, 8, 9, 10. Queen. Okay. Now this shop, they do have an Etsy shop, but again, I suggest ordering through their website, which is just tarotcollectibles.com. Put that in chat. And like I said, I'll add links to each of the decks tomorrow or Wednesday morning so that you can just click on it and go directly to the deck itself. But if you want the shop, it's tarotcollectibles.com. I have done it both ways. And actually, I texted Johnny. I was like, I just got an order of tarot cards that I didn't even remember ordering. What I had done was I was shopping in 2 different locations. I was taking a look at their Etsy shop, and I was looking on their Tarot Collectibles website. So I had placed an order through the Etsy shop, and then a couple days later, I was looking on their website, totally thought that I had decided to order these other 2 decks and placed another order. So I did place them at about the same time. This shop is located in the UK, but they are really fast about getting decks to you. Regardless of whether I ordered on Etsy or on their website, I got them within probably about a week and a half, which I think is pretty impressive. So the last deck that I'll go through tonight before wrapping up will be the Psychedelic Space Tarot. And this is one of them that is, I believe, is reactive to the black light. And I did actually, I was a nerd and I ordered a blacklight bulb, and I was playing around with, like, look at these little, the images have a lot of the same basic imagery, but these are just space, there's space people. I did buy a black light bulb because I had this great idea of doing, a black light video of all of these cards, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. But hey, I tried. But check these guys out. The Hierophant, the Lovers. And I'm kind of curious as to which one of the cards in this deck have the extra cards included. Hermit. Oh, am I going too fast, Kathy? I can certainly slow down. Death. Temperance. I think since I'm still just working out the kinks. Oh, the shipping. Yeah, it really is. No, I got worried that I was going through the cards too fast because, well, on one of my videos that I did, I think it was Joe that commented that your camera didn't really get a chance to focus on the cards. So I re-recorded that specific video. But when I'm doing these live streams, I find that I get really wound up and excited about showing stuff off and trying to talk at the same time and kind of trying to mentally plan ahead for what deck I'm going to show next. And I kind of lose track of how fast I'm flying through the cards. Like, look at this, I don't know, fish person thing that is the boat pusher on the Six of Swords. It's really kind of, it's an interesting deck. The basic stuff is the same. Oh, this poor guy, his bubble head thing is broken because he got stabbed. Knight of Swords. Oh, I wonder if all of the knights are flying around on spaceships. We'll have to see as we go through some of these. Ace of Wands. 2, 3. I don't know if, now that I was bragging about the shipping from this shop, I don't know if it would be the same time frame. This one makes me laugh. Right now, specifically because it is about the holiday season time. I got these cards probably mid to late October. So it was nowhere near the holiday shipping season when I got them, but really prompt on the shipping. They give you a tracking number so you can keep track of it as it travels halfway around the world. I like this group. So we'll look at the cups. Yeah, they do. Yeah, a lot of these people look like they would be in, now I have that Star Wars bar music going in my head. Do, 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 do. Thank you for that. I'm going to have to listen to something else or I'm going to fall asleep to that. Page. Green horse for the knight. So they're not all riding spaceships. And the king. Oh, looks like the extra cards are at the back. I thought ahead and faced them the other way. So we'll see what they look like when we get there. 7, 8, 9, 10, page, knight, queen, and king. So now Let me go back and find the cards that I had originally shown you. This was the Emperor. Let's see if I can get it without the glare on it. There's the alternate. So he doesn't have the desk or whatever in front of him. And this was the Fool card that I showed you. Oh, wait, that's not. That's the new one. This is the duplicate. And it looks like, I feel like I'm playing one of those matching games. This little robot guy isn't behind him in this card. But it looks like that might be the only difference. So now let's look at the differences in the Justice card. If I can find that. I'm close. I'm close. Here we go. So we have two different versions of the Justice card. And the last one we have two different versions of is Seven of Swords. Very different on those. I think that I'm going to call that the video, unless you guys want me to keep going. I do have a few other decks over here that I was going to go through, but I can just certainly shift those forward to another live stream. I don't want to overtax you or me. And I see that Pete got home from work, so I want to check in with him too. Like I said, I'll add hyperlinks for the decks that I went through, and I'll timestamp them as well. So if you want to go back and just look at one particular deck, you don't have to rewatch the whole video. So thank you everybody for watching. Actually, there we go. I'll switch to my face to say thank you everybody for watching. It was really good to spend some time with you. I will let you know about the other pop-up live streams when I do the subscription box and the Yule box, and also the Ukrainian decks when I get those in. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you in chat when we're watching other videos. Bye.